Hello everyone, how are you today? So, we have recently hit 400 subscribers, which means it's time for a second Q&A. We have a little bit of everything, so let's get started. First question, have you ever been to an anime convention? Yes, here in Spain we have an anime convention called Salón del Manga, which is celebrated in Barcelona, and actually the last time I went, which was in 2019, was celebrated on the days that my birthday was happening. But yeah, I have been to that convention a total of 3 times. The first time was when I was 8 years old, and I didn't go anymore until like 10 years later when I was 19, I believe. And then the last time I went in 2019 when I was 22. I really want to go again to the salon wearing another cosplay. Second question, seeing that you can draw really well, ever consider writing and making your own manga? Thank you very much for the compliment. Actually, this was something I considered back when I was a little girl. I remember most of my classmates in elementary school, in middle school, would tell me, you have to draw your own manga, your own comics, you draw very well, you have to pursue this. And I was like, yeah, sure, this is awesome, I love drawing manga, so I'm gonna become a mangaka when I grow up and it's gonna be amazing. But then, you know what happened? I realized I sucked very badly at drawing backgrounds and perspectives and objects and all of this stuff that is, to me, is very boring, but it's very necessary to draw a story. A story is not only drawing characters. So I was like, maybe this is not the career path for me. So yeah, I gave up on that a long time ago, but who knows? Who knows what the future holds, right? Third question, what do you like better, winter or summer? Actually, my favorite season is spring, because I feel in spring is when the temperature is almost perfect. But if I had to choose between winter and summer, I would choose summer, because I don't really like the cold. I hate getting out of bed when it's cold, and yeah, I think I handle heat much better than the cold, so summer. Okay, this question is very funny. Question number 4. Who would be your husbando if you had to choose Sesshomaru or InuYasha? Okay, I have to say InuYasha, because our boy here has always been my first anime crush. I even remember dreaming about him when I was little. It was like, oh my god, I dreamed about InuYasha, it was so fun, we were together like on a date or whatever. So yeah, I've always liked InuYasha more, because I mean, when I was little, I didn't like Sesshomaru at all. It was like, oh my god, this guy is so cold, he doesn't have feelings, I don't like him. Of course, now that I'm older, I see him differently, I appreciate his composure and all that, but I still would give InuYasha the title of husbando. Question number 5. Multiple part question. Who do you think would win in a fight? This one is very fun too. A. If InuYasha versus Sesshomaru had one final showdown. I think they did have a final showdown in the final act, right? If I'm not mistaken. They both are very powerful demons. Well, demon and a half demon. But I think Sesshomaru would win, because he's more strategic in fights, and that gives him an advantage over InuYasha, who is more impulsive. So I would say Sesshomaru. Sorry, InuYasha. B. Kagome versus Kikyo. In a fight. Okay, right off the bat, I would say Kikyo, for a similar reason that I chose Sesshomaru in the previous question, because like Kikyo is more composed, more calm, and therefore I feel like she could strategize better to eventually win a fight. But I'm gonna have to say Kagome, because I think Kagome has a passion and a determination that could easily overpower Kikyo, in my opinion. So Kagome. And C, Kirara or Shippo. This fight is for the cutest. This one is hard because I think both of them are extremely adorable. If I had to choose, I think I would choose Kirara, because Kirara, I think she comes in handy. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think she is also like just being herself, not necessarily serving a purpose. She's already valuable because she's a brave and loyal companion. She has always been. But in a fight, I mean, just imagine being able to fly away riding Kirara. And yeah, we were talking about the cutest. So yeah, I think Kirara is cuter than Shippo, because when she goes, I don't know how to imitate it, but when she does her little sound, her little cute sound, that melts my heart. I'm sorry, Shippo, you cannot compete against that. I'm sorry. So Kirara. I'm a fan of cherry blossom trees. That's one thing I would really like to see in Japan during the spring. Are you into that sort of stuff? I love cherry blossom trees, also known as the sakura in Japanese. I think they are a staple of Japanese culture and a must visit part of Japan. I mean, one of the things I wanna do when I go to Japan. Yes, I say when I go because I will go. I just don't know when or how, but I will go. One of the things I want to do so badly is to have a picnic under a cherry blossom tree. Have you guys ever seen that image when people reunite and they bring their bento boxes and they sit under the trees and they eat and chill and hang out while the flowers are falling on top of them? And I just love that image. It gives me so much peace and so much joy to see. So I wanna live that. I wanna eat a lunch out of a bento box underneath a cherry blossom tree. Now that Yashahime has ended, how would you compare it to the original series InuYasha? Well, it hasn't really ended because season 2 is coming, but yeah, I get the question. How would I compare it to the original? In Spanish, we have a saying that goes, "Las comparaciones son odiosas," and I really believe that's true of everything in life. So I don't think you can compare the two, because I mean, InuYasha was was InuYasha. I mean, it aired in another era, because the 2000s were another decade, another era. Everything was very different. So I really believe the time in which series air influences the way the public react to them and the impact they have or don't have. So I'm 100% sure that Yashahime will never have the same impact as InuYasha have, but mainly because it's airing in a completely different time period. Everything is so different now than it was in the 2000s, and also because we already have the original InuYasha. So even though I said you shouldn't compare it, because I believe it's not a fair comparison, to be honest, because it's not even written by the same author, by Rumiko Takahashi. It's inevitable that people are gonna compare the two. It's understandable also, because we are talking about our original characters' childs. Of course, if you ask me which one I prefer, I'm always gonna say InuYasha. That doesn't mean that I don't like Yashahime. I know I made a video complaining about it, but that was mainly because I was very disappointed with one episode in particular, which was episode 19. But yeah, ultimately, I guess what I'm trying to say is you cannot really compare the two, because they are very different. Maybe things change in season 2. Maybe in season 2 they managed to tie everything together. I hope that answered your question. Do you think it could affect kids watching it for the first time as InuYasha did for us when we were young? I think, like I said before about the question, the Yashahime question, the time a show airs also affects how it impacts the public watching it. And kids in the early 2000s, they were different, man. They were different than kids now. Kids now have seen everything. No, I mean, not everything, but you have kids now growing up with tablets and the internet. I mean, InuYasha impacted me in the way it did because when I was little, when I was 7, 8, that was when I first started watching it on TV. I had never seen anything like that. I didn't have access to the internet yet. I had never seen anything like that. I mean, now with the internet, you just have this extensive amount of stuff to look at and to watch and to dive into that when we were kids back in the old days, we didn't have that. So I believe that's part of the reason InuYasha impacted us, or me at least, so very, very much. Because I just didn't have access to as much stuff as kids these days have. But with that being said, I also believe InuYasha can impact anyone in different ways. I mean, maybe not in the same way it impacted us, but it could impact kids in a different way. Maybe not as strongly, but I really believe it could, because InuYasha is still timeless. The themes in it, the music, the animation, the stories, the way everything is weaved together, all of that is freaking timeless. So I believe it could. Which YouTuber or what YouTube channel has influenced you the most? Oh, I would say a few, not only one. I'm gonna pick 2 channels for 2 different categories, so 4 channels. In the singing department, there's one YouTuber that I really admired. She's called Mire, and she's Spanish too. And I really admire her covers and how far she has come with her YouTube channel and everything that she's done, pretty much. And then we also have another girl. She's called Iria. Her channel is Iria Official Channel. She's also Spanish, and she has such a beautiful voice. I think she won a contest also in Japan, which is so nice. I think Mire did too. So yeah, these 2 girls have really inspired me in the singing aspect of my channel. And then when it comes to personal growth, lifestyle, and those other things that I like talking about, my main inspirations have been Lavender, someone I've been watching for a while. I really love her vibe, her aesthetic, the things she talks about, and yeah, her as a person, I really admire her. Also Jenim. Yeah, I'm not really into fashion or makeup. I barely wear makeup, I would say. Yeah, I don't wear makeup ever. I'm just too lazy, I cannot be bothered. Jenim has moved more towards the personal development, personal growth aspect, and I really enjoy those videos from her. I like how articulate she is, and she's a huge role model for me. How much time does it take to make a 3-minute video? 3 hours? 3 days? How long? Good question. This really depends on the song. I guess you're asking about the covers, right? That's why you're saying 3-minute videos. So let's take a song that I already know and love. For example, Fukai Mori, InuYasha Ending 2. That to make the video for that song, the finished product, first I have to rehearse. That takes me about 1-2 days, more or less, sometimes more. Then I have to record my voice. That can take up to 4 or 5 days, depending on how many times I mess up or sing out of tune or squeak. Then I have to cut that and put it together with the instrumental. That takes another day usually. Then I have to record myself the video of me singing, because I like showing myself singing. That takes also half a day. And then editing can take maybe up to 3-4 days, because putting it all together, adding the subtitles, adding the effects and things. So I have already lost count because I can't count, I'm terrible at math, but I'm gonna say that it typically takes me 2 weeks maximum to finish a video if I want it to be very, very good, because if it just takes me a week or even less, it's not gonna be all that great. So when you decide to sing on a stage, will you record it and upload it to your channel? Yes, of course I will. The time, whenever I decide to do that, of course I'm gonna ask whoever is with me at the time, watching me, accompanying me, to record me, and I'm gonna upload the video to my channel for you guys to see.